I can
correct.
see in an
Yes,
area where someone else is not.
that is correct. Would you like to roll further perception for me?
Yes, yes, I would like to roll for you. I rolled a natural 1 for you.
A natural one. This thing is on the wall. Nothing suspicious at all.
I want to try and prestidigitation something in its pathway.
Okay.
I want to make the scum with a natural 2.
With a natural 2. Let's say your prestidigitation skills are a little bit better than that. Roll again.
With a 9.
A 9. It's not the best fishman, but you have the outline of a fishman. Appear in its way. Shooting across the hall at lightning fast speed from underneath this arcane eye, several large bolts of ice magic materialize from the wall and just completely pound this opposite side of the wall here, completely phasing through and dispelling your illusory fish guy.
Tripwire.
Well, that's wonderful.
This eye goes silent. It appears to be deactivated. Excuse me.
It should be safe now.
And what, you want me to go first?
With that, something brushes by your feet as a manta ray swims past you guys.
I look at the manta ray and sigh. If he can do it, I guess it's probably safe. And then I cautiously venture past it.
You are met with one crab, who does not appear to be afraid of you and is standing at your feet. With
Hello, Mr. Crab.
claws raised high, it clicks, as if trying to communicate.
I have sense motive. I want to try and sense motive of the crab.
Okay.
12.
This crab is not afraid of you. This crab is holding its ground.
I ignore the crab and move a little farther inwards to try and see what is going on, what all's in there.
Okay. Elric, roll perception for me. You only.
14.
Alright, you can see further behind, kind of towards the right, there are more crabs. They are not advancing, but they are holding a line as if holding their claws up like they are not afraid of you. Ophelia, would you care to roll me a perception?
Yes. There you go. 15.
15, good. You can see a little bit further into the room. Give me 1 second here. This is a largish room. And another crab comes from the darkness and starts waving its claws before. This crab is not afraid of you.
Am I the only one getting a bad feeling about these crabs? I look at Elric. The only one that thinks these crabs are a little on the aggressive side?
However, mind you, these are just tokens. They are actual crabs. They're only about the size of your fist.
Is a dragonborn afraid of a little shellfish?
No, I'm just not used to a crab not running away from me. They really should. I might have a shellfish allergy, you don't know.
This crab will
I just stare at
follow.
Did your little friend tell you I was bugging him?
You've essentially chased it into a corner.
I retreat back to Elric.
I want to move around the crab up to the north and head north.
Okay. These crabs do not move, but you are easily able to step around them. They will
Yes.
ever so slightly kind of try and nip at your boots.
I follow him.
This crab here will kind of run over in this direction right here and stop and kind of waver its claws back and forth. This crab is not afraid of you.
I observe the crab trying to figure out if he's trying to warn us of something.
These crabs behind you are doing the same thing.
What did he say?
I have a portion of fish that I was saving for a meal. Can I divvy it up and throw it at the crabs?
If you would like.
I would like to do so because I think crabs eat, well, carcasses, for lack of a better term.
So you chum up some fish bits
Yes.
and toss them about.
Yes.
Okay, you do so. As the fish bits kind of chum up the water, the crabs do not seem interested. But a manta ray will lazily wander in and scoop up the offerings. Start filter feeding.
Can we see anything past the wall of crabs down to our south?
Not from where you're standing, but it does not appear like the room continues much farther. Both of you roll perception real quick, unless you figured it out.
18.
12.
Last you saw, a manta ray chased a crab for food. Now there is a manta ray eating fish bits, and these crabs are undeterred.
This manta ray is not after these crabs. What if these crabs don't exist? As it's not even paying them any mind.
It's a valid point, but what exactly would be casting magic that would make us see crabs?
Another crab will kind of wander out of the darkness up towards the north and strike its pose, and it is not afraid of you.
More importantly, who would be doing it? I start meandering around.
I want to push northward.
Okay.
I want to step on a crab and see what happens.
Go ahead and roll d20 if you really want to step on that crab. You only have to beat a 10.
I want to squish it. 16.
Roll damage. You only have to beat a 5, so anything you roll will kill it.
5.
You overkilled it.
You mash a crab in the ground. You flatten a crab.
Crab pate.
Do I notice anything weird about the crab?
A few of them get a little bit closer and waver their arms a little bit more. And some rumbling is heard from up north. Some large, heavy footsteps, if you would, splashing in the water.
I think I may have just gotten us in a lot of trouble.
Some more crabs come out of the darkness. As a large creature begins to form in the darkness. Backing up towards you ever so slowly, you are met with a gigantic shell. Arising from the darkness of the room above is a gigantic crab monster.
I think I just really upset Mommy Crab.
For the record, I hate you.
This thing is just standing here. All the crabs are wavering at you, but this monster does not appear to be actively trying to kill you. It is staring you down, though. Holds its claws aloft as well as I am not afraid of you.
Does the room continue on?
From what you can tell, onwards, it is nothing more than crabs.
I say we just you know,
Is
go
there
the
anything?
other way.
Is there anything above the crab?
I will go ahead and give it to you here. It is nothing. It is dead end. It is more crab.
No, I meant. Is the ceiling like? Does the ceiling like have loose rubble or anything?
The ceiling is made out of the same material the walls are. It is broken, jumped together, seaweed, barnacles. But it is plenty loose, as there is rubble everywhere.
I want to try and mage hand a small
However,
cave
this
in above
thing-
the giant crab.
As noted, if you did not get it, this thing is not actively in combat.
Yes.
Okay.
Fine. I'm just gonna walk the other way.
I just quietly retreat as to I do not like crabs.
Ooh, stop grabbing. As you kind of retreat, a line of a good handful of crabs will kind of fence you out.
Well, that was interesting.
Do you think before you step?
You brought up the idea that they might not be real crabs, so I figured I would test the theory.
I meant to ignore them.
Well, you didn't specify.
I shouldn't have to.
I'm part dragon. I don't have all the elf intelligence. Sorry. Can we quick travel back to where the last little fork in the road was?
Yes,
Yeah,
there's
we're in the room.
continue down here, and there's northwards up over this side.
Let's try south.
Are you gonna continue to pick on me if I follow you? Or, yeah. I just reluctantly follow.
This chamber opens up, more rubble as expected, but more notably, there are broken spears lying all about the ground, and spears growing out of the walls, if you would. They seem to be withered just as expected.
One of the past adventurers must have met an
Unfortunate demise.
or just battle. It looks like there was a crew because one adventurer cannot hold that many spears.
I don't know. I hold quite a few weapons
You
myself.
hear a sound immediately to this southward passage. Sounds like footsteps. Dispatching.
Let's head that way. Towards the sounds.
I quietly follow behind. I've decided to be quiet now that I am being picked on.
Footsteps are fastly approaching you, Elric. What do you do?
I want to...
Well, they're not hastily, they're footsteps in a walking manner, but they're almost upon you.
I have an illusory spell, Alter Self. I want to make myself look like a crab.
Okay?
With a 16.
You look like a crab.
I stare at him. I tried to eat you, and you turn yourself into a crab.
I raise my claws. I am not afraid of you.
Out of the darkness comes stepping the elf you saw on the platform up above. The elf immediately notices you, Ophelia. She holds a hand up behind her as if almost prepared to grab her bow.
I reach behind me as to ready my bow as well, cautiously observing her, not really going to attack unless forced to.
She studies your movements and holds her arms down as if in a passive motion. As if I'll calm down if you calm down.
I put my arms down, still watching, because I'm not exactly sure what to think of her. Are you meeting as many dead ends as we are?
It takes her a second to actively answer. She does not seem to be very talkative. She says, "No, I'm going in circles." Have you found anything of interest?
Well, we found a giant crab up north. Like,
She raises an
huge.
eyebrow.
And it was protected by a wall of crabs that was just like not afraid of us at all.
She pulls the bow off her back and readies an arrow. She says, "Like this one here," and draws her bow at this crab.
No. That's my friend. He transformed himself into a crab because he didn't know who you were.
I scuttle to the side like a regular crab.
You are not helping yourself any.
It does not seem to be defending itself as you speak, but I guess one crab is not worth it. She puts her bow away.
I'm trying to make it look crazy.
I glare at the crab. Jerk.
Well, if you happen to find anything, and you happen to see me again, let me know. I might be inclined to help you out.
Sure. Have you found anything interesting?
Unfortunately, no.
There was a pile of gold all the way to the other side.
Gold. And you didn't take it?
No, it was kind of like a trap. There was a bunch of fishmen warrior things guarding it.
So far to the north.
So
Into the west.
it was like really far into the north and to the west, like northwest.
Well, sounds good enough to me. Trap's not worth anything
If you
without
go
any
that way,
hazard.
be cautious.
Yes, quite. She says she will wave a hand behind her as if kind of whatever and will walk past you on her way.
I stare at the crab. You're lucky I don't squish you.
I raise my claws again. I am not afraid of you.
I poke him with the armor of my tail.
Roll damage. Two damage.
10
What?
I take 10 damage.
2 damage.
2 damage?
2 damage.
I revert back.
What are you doing? You won't on your arm.
Yes, my arm is bleeding now.
Excuse me.
Stabbing me again was uncalled for.
You made me look insane to the elf woman.
That is not my fault.
Yes, it is. I roll my eyes and continue down the path.
Path will open up into another large room.
Is there anything in the said room?
If you want to get up close to that wall of darkness, you can see the entire room.
approach the wall of darkness.
There's a giant spider.
You can see this much. Immediately, you notice there is a large, completely black petrified tree growing out of the ground. Well, I shouldn't say growing out of the ground. It's more like tossed to the side. It does not belong here, obviously. There's a flower crown bobbing up and down in the water about your feet here. And more noticeably, there is a large stone staircase in the far wall, kind of leading into the wall.
Before anything, I want to approach the petrified wood.
Okay?
Are there any small branches or petrified twigs or anything that I could snap off?
Oh, certainly. You believe you can snap off the twig, no problem.
I would like to come to petrified wood.
You do so?
Petrified wood is hard to come by and would fetch a good price.
Is everything you do involving the price?
This world is ruled by the coin. If I can't escape using my own skills, there's only one other thing people listen to.
True.
Ophelia, with your dragon hearing, roll me perception.
12.
12 works. Behind you, you can hear what sounds to be another one of those Lacedawn ghouls. Kind of over this way.
I decide to retreat to the stairway. I attempt to avoid it by going to the stairs.
It is minding its own business in the corner, digging for something. The stairs are stone rubble stairs. They seem to be aged well with the rest of this place, and they are going into the wall, haphazardly, like jammed together like everything else in here.
They're not actual stairs, they are a decorative fixture.
Well, they appear to be actual stairs, but they are obviously out of place.
They lead nowhere.
With that, I venture to the left. To the left.
This flower crown will bob about a little. There is a door, a wooden door, kind of thrown against the side here.
Is it just thrown against the side? Does it connect to anything?
It is a broken off wooden door just tossed to the side. Covered in barnacles and muck just like the rest of the place.
We should venture past it.
I casually ignore it and continue on my way.
The hallway will branch again to the right and to the left. More rubble about the place.
Let's try to the left, which would be south.
Another branching path.
I begrudgingly follow.
The next choice is yours.
I say we go southwards. I stop at the at the top of the little path to try and see if there's anything down it.
Okay. Wind its way about a little bit more. There is another crab. It kind of scuttles about.
Am I the only one who is getting really tired of crabs?
Next time, pay more. You might get lobster.
I just give him an awkward look and venture down.
This crab immediately runs away from you.
Good. This one is afraid of us.
I continue down the path.
You follow the crab, it runs away even more.
I'm not intentionally following you, Mr. Crab, I promise. You're just kind of going in the same general direction as me. I continue down the path.
Alright, both of you roll perception for me. As this crab will dig a hole, find a
12.
little hole in the wall and kind of escape from you guys.
Natural 1.
Alright, Elric. Alright, beneath the sand amongst your feet, you can kind of feel solid floor. And it would be... Go ahead and take me 7 damage. As 2 sharp blades fling out of the wall and barely nick you. You expected would have probably gone a little bit worse if these things weren't rusted to pieces.
I make a note that I'm going to have to, unfortunately, find a healer or doctor somewhere to get these looked at when we're done. I've heard tales of individuals who were stung by rusty blades who did not fare too well.
I just stare at him blankly. I know a little bit of healing magic. I am an elf after all.
The contradictions that you keep spewing forth never cease to astound me.
I am a dragon elf. I am a dragon elf. Leave me alone.
I press forward.
I follow him. shortly
Elric,
behind.
there's an obvious lever jutting out of the wall. And above it is
Should we
kind of
pull the lever?
scrawled... Above it is scratched into the wall, "Beware the light."
Should we pull the lever? I walk over to the lever and stare at it, very tempted to pull it.
I'm taking a note here, hold on. Okay. I press myself up against a wall and in preparedness for when she decides to pull the lever, regardless of what I have to say.
Well, no, I was honestly asking your opinion, but if you're not going to give it to me, I reach up and grab the lever,
You grab the lever.
yank it down.
It takes some actual force to pull this lever, as it seems to be rusted in place a little bit as well. It manages to clink into its downwards position, in which a unpleasant scraping noise is heard as those blades retract back into the wall.
Will you please push the lever back up?
Sure? What was the point of pulling it?
It just reset the trap. And I don't want to find it again.
Oh, okay. Fine. I struggle to put it back in place.
Roll strength for me. If you can beat a 10. It was very hard to get this in its upward right position, but you managed to clink this thing back upwards. The blades do not fully come back out of the wall, they seem to jam themselves about halfway out. They're stuck in the wall.
At least now they are noticeable.
You know, that could have killed another player.
Splish splashing is heard up above you guys.
I turn around and try and assess my surroundings before I continue.
Another Lacedon is mulling about the seaweed.
God, those things are everywhere. From where I am, I pull out my bow and ready to try and hit it.
This thing has not even noticed you guys are in here. It is eating seaweed.
If you roll well enough, we might be able to get a sneak attack critical off of it.
Okay. Can I tell if the room continues on?
The room is a dead end.
Then there's no point in it. We need to backtrack.
I'm still a little irritated at the creatures from before, but I go ahead and venture out.
just accidentally overlapped our characters.
Yeah, I know.
The northward path will open up into another larger chamber.
I venture into the chamber.
Alright, if both of you want to get right about here and roll perception and finally tune your dark vision, I can give you a good view here.
Got a 19.
18 or 8.
Alright, Ophelia, you need to focus your a little bit more, but you can see this much here. Path opens up towards the north and opens up towards the south. There's several large piles of rubble. And more noticeably, directly, there is a large rustic hammer sitting in the south side of the room.
I suggest south to investigate this hammer down here.
I want to see if I can take the hammer and add it to my weaponry.
Roll strength to see if you can unstick it from the wall.
Remember, you also get a +2 on it. Not that it helped much.
I got a whole 4.
Alright, you cannot pry this thing from the wall. It is jammed into the wall.
Darn it, that would have made a nice collection, a nice addition to my collection.
Do you want to give it one more good pull?
I don't see why not. I try once more.
Okay?
9.
I'll give it to you. You managed to pry this thing out of the wall. It is essentially a large metallic war hammer. Seems a bit rusted, but still in pretty decent shape, despite being underwater for who knows how long.
A good blacksmith should be able to polish that up nicely for a great price.
Ophelia, you also notice a large pile of rope kind of floating about the water over here.
I go investigate the rope.
This room opens up a little bit more. There are more piles of just rotten rope about. Something small jets around your feet.
I jump a little.
It's merely a squid.
I'm sorry, I don't like squids, and I don't like crabs.
Are all dragonborn this way?
No, just me.
What an odd duck you are indeed.
I can't eat the crabs, and I can't eat the squid, so... And I'm still hungry, and you still look rather appetizing.
I offer another bit of fish ration.
No, I'm good. I don't like raw fish.
It's cooked, thank you.
Oh, it looks raw. Whatever. Thank you, but no.
Is there anything odd about this rope?
It is. They appear to be large, like, tangled up wads of just rotten rope. They appear to be submerged like the rest of the place.
Can we see anything farther into the room? Any pads, anything like that?
This way kind of winds around up here. I'll actually go ahead and just give it to you. It will end in a dead end, and this kind of wraps around to what will be some sort of small wraparound along this side. But you cannot further see around what may be hiding around the wraparound.
Is he trying to tell us he wants us to go this way?
I think we should head through the chasm. Through the wraparound. There might be something past there.
Okay, I venture after him.
Another squid will shoot past your feet.
With my new little hammer.
This wraparound will show nothing more than 2 swords fixated in the walls.
materials?
They are quite briny and unable to be fully clear, but they appear to be metallic swords of some kind. But they've either been forced into the wall or affixed to the wall somehow, but they are essentially growing out of the wall with the rest of the brine. So are we now wielding this hammer?
Yes, I now have the hammer.
Alright, you can keep track of the hammer.
I do nothing. My character's race has a predisposition to not use metal weaponry, but enchanted wooden and or leather armor's weapons.
I'm slightly curious of the swords and investigate a little more. Because I really like weaponry.
If you like to roll perception, you certainly can.
8.
There does not appear to be anything odd about these swords. They are standard swords. They are just in the wall. Elric, roll perception.
15.
Alright. A few more squid will jut past your feet. Kind of in a swarm of some kind. Away from behind you.
We're being followed.
I look behind me.
There is another scum, face down in the water, who appears to be munching on something.
Probably squid.
Jeez, I seem to be very popular with scum today.
Not only are you exceptionally self-absorbed, but you are exceptionally narcissistic. I don't think he's following you.
He looks like the same one as before, and that one was following me.
It's a scum. They all look rather similar. And given our location, it's probably the same breed of scum.
With your conversation, this fish creature will kind of shovel its head along, dragging itself in the sand, and get like right up next to you guys and just kind of stop with its arms linked to its side. Like if this thing were depressed kind of motive. This thing is literally got its head in the ground. It's kind of propelled with its feet.
I just stick my tongue out at Elric.
I walk past the scum.
We'll
I
kind of
stare at it for a second and then continue around it as well.
we'll kind of dumpily waddle about and face your direction. And if you guys like to fast travel to a spot before, I think we will need to take a break.
Let us fast travel. Let's zoom up map a little bit to find out where we can go.
There's another large portion leading off towards the left over here. And of course, a good path towards the north.
Let us head back to the stair room.
Okay? Move as you please.
Our tokens are moved. I moved this. Did I move the scum? No, I didn't. Okay.
No, I did. The scum will follow you the entire way, dragging its head in the ground.
I think the little guy is kind of cute.
I'm going to kill it.
No, don't kill it. It might be of use to us.